and welcome to the GSL Codes. We're finally back. How you doing, Artosis?
Oh my God, I am so happy, Tasteless. Finally.
Yeah.
Finally. It is Heart of the Swarm, Codes, and the beginning of the WCS. Couldn't be happier.
This is amazing. We're here in our new studio. This is our first time casting down here. We have moved from Mokdong, the Mokdong area. We're now in at Samsung Station in Gangnam.
That's right.
So definitely come down here and check out the studio if you haven't already. It is badass. Everything brand new. And of course, as always, entry is free.
That is right, Tasteless. And you know what? It is packed here. Everyone is super stoked. And in fact, we have some very special guests here today, Tasteless, who are going to be speaking in just a moment.
Yes, absolutely. Now, of course, we had the end of Wings of Liberty just occur a little while ago. So we saw where the metagame brought us. Zerg looking very strong by the end with the Broodlord, Infestor with some spine crawlers oftentimes underneath it.
Yep.
Now it's a new game. It's a new beast to take on right now. Heart of the Swarm, new units, new strategies. It all starts here today.
That is right. And I tell you what, we've been playing a lot of it,
We've been playing a lot of Heart of the Swarm.
I gotta say, we certainly have.
That whole go to the gym thing and get a six-pack didn't happen this break. I was inside all day playing Heart of the Swarm. So
don't worry, you can do it next time.
Yeah, next time, right? Well, we'll see. What's exciting for me, and I know for you as well, is now we get to steal all the strategies that we cast in here from the players when we go home tonight and ladder. Again, it is packed down here. Humans, monkeys.
That's right.
Everything.
That's from our new sponsor for GSL this season. It is MANGOSIX.
Yep.
It's a coffee place.
Yep.
If you ever see a MANGOSIX, go there and drink their coffee.
Go there over any other coffee place.
Yeah, forget the other places. No one cares about Starbucks or Tom and Tom's.
That's right, no. Unless they start to sponsor us, at least.
Exactly.
So, how was your break, Artosis? We had a little bit of time off here.
It was, you know what? I missed casting. I really did.
It feels weird. It feels like it's been a little bit too long since we casted anything.
Definitely a bit too long, but been playing a lot, man, so I feel ready.
I did not come down to the new studio until today. I wanted it to be a surprise. And let's grab our guest speaker here real fast from Blizzard.
Vice President, I guess, is the title that you could say that he holds.
And he'll be giving a little speech here before we really start the show up. Of course, we couldn't be here without great games from Blizzard. So we'll give him a little time to talk. I believe that's going to happen right now.
Hello, esports fans in Korea and around the world. As many of you are aware, we announced yesterday a new global league structure, the Starcraft 2 World Championship Series. We brought together some of the best esports organizations in the world to cooperate and take esports to the next level. In Korea, we unified the Starcraft 2 leagues under one umbrella. And I want to thank our partners here, GOMTV, CASPA, and OGN, for working together to create this new great experience for viewers and players. In Seoul, the capital of esports, we are opening today the first WCS Korea Season 1 GSL. And it's an honor to be standing here with you and sharing this historic moment. I hope we enjoy a lot of great WCS matches in the future. Thank you very much for being here. 감사합니다.
Yeah, everything is getting more unified now.
Oh, that is
here
for
with
sure.
the WCS. It was a little bit scatored, last year. So many events going on at the same time. So
a lot more direction now. I think is a good way to put it.
Well, you get that many, tournaments going on at once, it can get confusing. But now we have kind of one, as you said, kind of unified under one big umbrella, and that makes it easier for everybody, to follow.
That's right.
And now we're going to get, I believe, a speech from Mike Morheim.
Yep.
CEO of Blizzard, and there he is now. We actually we're going to play a team with him a few nights ago. It's nice to catch him. A great guy.
Yeah.
Without that guy, we'd be working at Red Robin, Artosis.
That's true. He is Blizzard right there. That is Blizzard incarnate in one human being. He was actually a programmer.
Yeah.
Starcraft 1.
I still remember like it was yesterday, 3 years ago, when I came to Korea to announce the beginning of the new Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty League, the GSL. For 3 years after that, we've seen great, talented players and inspiring gameplay, and witness the growth of esports, not only in Korea, but around the entire world. As fans have grown to love watching and enjoying StarCraft 2. This historic occasion today will start off the new World Championship Series globally. I want to thank everyone who is here today and everyone watching at home. Now, I hereby declare the start of the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series, WCS Korea Season 1, GSL.
All right, sit. And now the tournament is going to go underway. So let's take a close look at the players we got here now.
도전과 모험이었던 자유의 날개의 시대는 가고 스타크래프트2 제2의 역사가 시작된다. 첫 우승의 영광을 차지할 주인공은 과연 누가 될 것인가? 로로 셈벌 큐리어스 태자 MC 솔킥 파티 이노베이션 리너 스쿼트 SOS 크리에이터 아머 수 강호 크루 크레이지 마루 뿡뿡 킹 샤인 플라이 구미호 마린킹 판타지 요다 라스트 현 레인 동래구 플래시 라이프 군단의 심장 국내 최초의 공식 게임 리그 2013 WCS Korea 시즌 1 MANGOSIX GSL 지금 시작합니다.
It is going to be a very good season here for us at GSL. And I'm excited, man, because this is a starting point for where the metagame starts to shift. Now we're going to see what strategies these guys do. The strategies we see there are going to be used then on the ladder. It's going to impact how everybody else is playing. Yep. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, it certainly is. I can't even believe that lineup of players that we have, Tasteless, this time. I mean, this is so unbelievably epic, this lineup. Players... Yeah. Who's even going to win this season, Tasteless?
You know, I don't know. If
I were to put you on the spot and you had to say a name from Code S, who would it be?
I'd say the fans are Tosis. I'd say they would win for sure. No, you know, here's what I'm wondering, because I can't pick anybody. Maybe Life, I guess. I'm not sure.
That's always a good pick.
Here's what I'm thinking right now. Are we going to see the same dominance from the StarCraft Wings of Liberty players here in Heart of the Storm, or is it going to be a new breed? Is this game going to be different enough that it works better with different minds? And,
it's hard to say.
You know,
I think there's definitely going to be some fall-off from players that maybe were just good at something very particular.
Right.
Like, let's say that they just really got Infestor Broodlord, for instance. You know, a lot of people call them patch Zergs, but what if that's really the unit set they're so good with? That's no longer as viable. So we definitely could see some players like that fall off, whereas other players might be more rewarded by the way that StarCraft 2 is going to work now. For instance, multitasking is becoming more and more important.
Oh, yeah.
A player like Gumiho, he did well before, but he might do better now in these circumstances.
That's very true. And, you know, when I'm talking about some players falling off and other players rising up, don't forget what happened in Wings of Liberty with Nesty. Nesty was essentially considered a failed pro gamer in StarCraft 1. Guy played for about 10 years. In StarCraft 2, GSL Season 2, he wins the whole thing.
Yeah, let's just say he was biding his time.
Yeah, no kidding. So I'm wondering myself, you know, who are we going to see here today really kick some ass?
Yeah, it's hard to say, but you know, in today's group, I'm pretty excited about to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, of course, we have defending champ RorO playing today. We have Crazy Hydra. Now I guess he goes by Crazy.
Yes.
Good Zerg player from StarCraft 1. Very underrated. No one's talked about him yet so far. You know, of course, Creator, a great Protoss player, and then Bomber. And I feel like Bomber's had a really great resurgence in Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the mix-ups that StarTale's had, you know, Life, their new best player, their two top Protosses, formerly the best players on the team, leaving somewhat recently, parting in Squirtle. Bomber has really stood up and filled his old place as being like a very... Yeah, exactly.
He's the anchor of the team, for sure.
The ace may be Life, but I have to agree, the anchor is Bomber. And I feel like he might do very well this season.
All right, I got another question for you then.
Okay.
Do you think we're going to see one race dominate this season? We've had seasons, for instance, early on in Codex where it was really dominant with Terran, or for instance, you know, near the end, very dominant with Zergs. It didn't mean that Protosses or, you know, whatever was kind of in the background as far as the number of players we had in like round of 16 or round of 32. Didn't mean they couldn't win, but do you think we're going to see this be heavy with one race by the time we get to the round of 16?
It's so hard to say. You know, we have a huge amount of Zerg players, so I don't know how heavy it'll be. I think it actually could get pretty balanced later on. I think there's going to be a lot of strategies that we haven't really seen or thought of, new ways to execute older builds with some of the new stuff mixed in. It's difficult to say. You know, to a lot of people, they might just say, Terran is going to do really well, but I'm not completely sure. It's really hard to say right now.
Yeah, it's a tough call. Now, here's the schedule. It's a little bit different than I think what a lot of you guys were used to before.
Yeah, it certainly is.
For instance, we only have one Code S here this week, and as you can see then, we're going to have 3 next week, then down to 2 and 2 for Code S.
That's right.
And as you can see, it pans out as we see right here. And, of course, please come to the finals. And, by the way, I want to emphasize this again because I know we have a lot of people that are, like, just now tuning in. This is the new studio. I know that, you know, it might look like we're in a GSL finals because, as you can see, we're up high. The audience is actually below us. But, no, this is actually the studio we'll be casting in all the time.
That is right, and it is fantastic.
It is sick.
It's beautiful.
And
it's like
the production rooms we were checking out earlier too, which is the floor above us, is insane.
Am I wrong to say that down there is 3 to 4 times bigger than the Mokdong studio?
It's way bigger, yeah.
And then everything else is way bigger too.
So if you guys could have seen the production studio, which is kind of all the behind-the-scenes stuff, and now if you saw what we have now, we have the entire floor of this building now.
We have multiple
insane.
floors of this building. Actually,
but I mean, just for the production and stuff upstairs, it's amazing. So expect a lot of great things here with StarCraft 2 and other games in the future here at GOMTV.
Oh, for sure. I'm just so stoked, man. I just want these games to start.
I know, right?
I mean, there's a lot that we can talk about, of course, but what I want to see is the ZVZ and then
a fresh new game, and because we're both doing our own thing on the ladder.
Yeah.
We're actually. Pretty much, we're calling each other about 5 times in a day, and we're like, all right, what are you doing? What are you doing in this matchup? Have you noticed people using Widow Mines like this, stuff like that? But I want to see, how different the pro gamers' strategies are from what we've been practicing.
Yeah, I'm excited, man, to actually see that and the ways that the matchup has changed because we've already seen some things. At first it was feeling like, is Protoss maybe the best? No, it seems like Terran is. Is Zerg way underpowered? thing is, Zergs have figured out some very interesting and cool new ways to battle back. Zerg is doing better and better recently in Heart of the Swarm. How will this go?
All right, now here's a look at the Kodas groups. As you can see, there's not a single group you can easily say who's going to win.
No, not very easily at all. Look at these ridiculously stacked groups. We already went over today, but look at that. For instance, next week, a group that has MC and DRG, not to mention Flying and Yoda. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we have MKP in a group with Curious. That's kind of cool. And, of course, throwing Sue and SOS in there. We have Soulkey, Maru, Flash, and Boom Boom. You know, we underestimated Boom Boom before. I'm going to look at this and underestimate him again, perhaps.
You know, looking at Group F, I'm really curious because we thought Innovation was going to win the whole thing. He was playing better than anybody we had ever seen play ever in the history of StarCraft 2. And, you know, I don't know how well he's adapted to Heart of the Swarm, but if he keeps playing as well as he was last season, he should be winning one of these Kodas's.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. You know, his rampage through MLG was only stopped by Flash, who had a similar rampage, only to lose to Life, who's abnormal as far as Zergs go. So he definitely could go through here.
And as you can see, here is the rough distribution. You got 14 Kesha players, 15 ESF, 3 foreign. Yeah. And there's a race distribution, which really isn't. It's actually fairly balanced when you consider, look, Zerg was doing so well last season. That I think that will probably balance out even more.
Yeah, Protoss is a little bit lower, but I do expect in the next couple seasons for that to go
up. The Swarm, I think Protoss has got a lot of great stuff going for him.
Oh, certainly, yes, I do have to agree. And it's interesting also to see how Kespa has equaled out with ESF so quickly, and I'm not surprised to see that either. Kespa is just such a great group of players with such a rigid and hardcore work schedule. That,
I would say I like the Kespa training regimen.
It's
a
the
little
most
bit
powerful
better.
in the world.
I think it really is. ESF is more laddering, but they're all still very good as well.
Oh yeah, of course, great players.
This is why the Koreans are the best guys. It's this setup they have out here, along with the ecosystem in Seoul, that kind of a culture that embraces gaming and everything like that. But really, if you're in a team house with 12 other guys, and you're all practicing with each other constantly, that's how you're going to be the best.
Yeah. Well, some really cool stats. Let's go ahead and look at the maps, Tasteless. Now, a lot of these maps you've seen before. Whirlwind, Belshir Vestige, Aklon Waste, Daybreak, Star Station. Those are all in the current ladder pool for StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm. Now, we have 2 new maps here. We have Red City and DF Atlas, also known as Dreamforge Atlas. And, Red City is a map they have been using in the Team League here at the GSL. And it's actually kind of a cool map. I've enjoyed the games I've seen so far. Atlas, I haven't seen as much of as Red City, that is for sure.
Our oldest map is going to be Daybreak, right?
Yes.
I think that's probably still the best StarCraft 2 map.
Someone tweeted at me recently that Daybreak this season wins the Nesty Award for 10 straight Kodesses. That was pretty cute.
Well, it's cool that we're continuing to cycle through these maps.
Yeah.
Because that's actually how you keep an RTS game fresh.
That is very true. StarCraft 1 had something like 300 maps in 10 years.
Right.
Whereas you look at a little bit more stagnant games such as Warcraft 3, what they have, like 15? It was very much smaller as far as the professional scene went.
Echo Isle? Does that sound right?
Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock.
Even I can name the maps in Warcraft 3.
Yeah. There were not a lot of maps.
No.
But once you put more maps in there, then all these new strategies come out.
And the more maps you make,
changes, it can completely disarm a way that you should play.
Exactly. Yeah. And the more different maps you rotate through, the more you learn about the balance of the game because of the way that a race uses a map in a certain matchup.
You might find out, Terrans are just too strong on narrow maps.
Yeah.
These maps that are really big and open, Zerg expand too easily. So it forces players to change their play style, and you're absolutely right. It does. It really
forces
allow us
forward the evolution.
Learn how the race itself works. If you remember when we started in StarCraft 1, what was the map that everybody played? Actually, there were 2 maps.
Well, Lost Temple for sure.
Yeah, that's probably Hunters.
Well,
that was way old.
Yeah.
I hated Hunters.
Not many 1v1s on Hunters, though.
No, not many 1v1s.
Some people did, which blew my mind, but that's another story.
And then slowly we started. Yeah, I hated that. Well, that map wasn't even balanced. I mean, there was upper left spot. You could basically share the bridge.
You could wall off and have 4 bases.
Yeah. but now the maps are, of course, symmetrical.
Yeah.
So they're all balanced. And, yeah, in StarCraft 1, we slowly started adding more and more maps in there. And that's really when the game was able to take off as more of an esport, when you were forced to have different strategies for different maps.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go and take a look at the player interviews in just a second.
정상을 올라갈 수 있는 자신감이 있기 때문에 나는 올라갈 수 있지 않을까.
삼성카 로로
차라리 신도현 선수가 제일 편한 것 같아요. 진짜 힘들게 올라왔으니까 절대 쉽게 떨어지지 않을 거예요.
KT 롤스터 크레이지
업그레이드의 힘으로 꼭 우승을 한번 해보고 싶어요. 분단의 심장 최고의 프로토스가 되겠습니다.
크리에이터 프람
장현 선수만 이기면 1위를 할 수 있을 거라고 생각해요. 승현이 빼고는 거의 비슷비슷한 것 같아요.
스타테일 바머 WCS Korea 시즌 1 MANGOSIX GSL Code S Round 32 Group A.
Well,
that was
we are
some nice
almost ready.
words by them, actually. That's
I love those,
I
those
love
pregame.
I love them showing who they are. Like, for instance, Creator always focuses on upgrades. He says he wants to do it through the power of the upgrade. Bomber,
Right.
Always with the trash talk.
Well, Bomber's a super confident guy. I mean, Bomber's the guy that actually will nuke himself
That is
in
true.
game when he's winning, just to show off that he can still win. that monkey is caffeinated.
Yeah, that's
New sponsor. There's David Kim.
there he is, the one, the only,
Yes.
the head of the balance team that has
That
helped
is
to
a
make-
hard job, man.
It's the hardest job perhaps in the whole world.
Yeah.
To balance
Take
the
that,
most
Obama.
sophisticated. Oh, you kidding me? It's
President
much
of the
harder
United
to be
States?
president.
No, it's much harder to be the balance
David
designer.
Kim doesn't fly around on Air Force One tasteless. He doesn't have bodyguards, okay?
No, he flies around in a medevac with that speed boost. that he came up with. All right, so here's our first player, RorO. And this guy's really solid.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he's the last champion, so
Yeah.
he better be. But you know what's really interesting is in the new ZVZ, Muta's very, very popular. You definitely see them the vast majority of the time, Muta versus Muta. And we are having two Kespa Zergs go at it in this first
We
match.
could have this look like StarCraft 1.
Dude, it's StarCraft 1. It's just Muta Wars and some Zerglings mixed in for Zerg vs. Zerg. So that's kind of what we're seeing. It does function a bit different in this. It's harder to kill each other. It's easier to expand. And the Mutas don't micro in the same way. So it's going to be a little bit different, but they're definitely used to going Ling Muta.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that is within the comfort range of these two players.
If you guys ever followed StarCraft 1 CDZ, it was probably the most limited matchup as far as options. Actually, I'll say it was the most limited matchup
Yes,
as far as
for certain.
tech options, but you were basically forced to make only Lings and then try to tech into Mutalisks. And we might see some of that here. It was a great matchup, though. Fun to cast.
Yeah, certainly.
Super action-packed.
It's super action-packed and very quick always. Definitely ZVZs can go longer in StarCraft 2, even in Heart of the Swarm.
And here is Crazy.
Yeah. Formerly known as Crazy Hydra, a very strong Zerg from StarCraft 1. Haven't really seen a lot of him in StarCraft 2 yet. Of course, he did
No.
make it in the GSL, so that's
Well,
pretty
you know,
badass.
we still have, people rising up and down in the ranks. And what's nice, too, is with, Heart of the Swarm out now, I mean, the game's changing so rapidly. I'm sure we're going to see patches. So these players really got to adapt and stay on top. So we got this new guy. I guess we could say he's a dark horse here today.
Yeah, he's definitely a dark horse, but if he were to win, I don't want people to be too surprised because he's very, very good.
That guy loves GSL.
As he should.
Saranghayo.
Yeah.
Now, we are moments away from getting into this game. Your predictions. I'm going to go with RorO because I think I have to.
You know
This is
what?
last season, but you never know.
I give it 55-45 RorO, and that might sound crazy, but just thinking about
Doesn't
Crazy
sound
Hydra
crazy. It sounds RorO to me, but
just think about Crazy and how he played in StarCraft 1 and what the matchup is like in StarCraft 2 here. I think his more aggressive than RorO style is going to benefit him for sure. I think that's going to be something that helps him out. Maybe in the Ling Baneling battles and whatnot, RorO was a little bit more of a macro Zerg, so I could see Crazy taking it, even though I do side a little bit here with RorO.
yeah. Well, we'll see. It's going to be on Star Station. And this is going to set the pace here. This group now, if you're new to the GSL, we want to make this as accessible as possible. I'm going to explain a little bit on the format after we get this game started. Because then we got veterans, we got noobs tuning in. The world is watching now as we enter game number 1 between RorO and Crazy here in Seoul, Korea, in our brand new ball and studio here at the GSL Code S. All right, introing our players over here in the upper right. In the red, we have
삼성칸 로로,
the last GSL champion, the final Wings of Liberty champion. Over here in the bottom left in the blue, the dark horse of today's group, he is
KT 로스터 크레이지.
You know, I've been thinking about the map Star Station a lot. And the thing is, right, it's a star station. It's a Protoss-built star station, right? And it has,
that's Protoss architecture.
yeah, and look at these geysers, how it's like they're electronical, right?
Electronic.
Electronical.
Electronical, yeah.
Yeah, no, they are. And so there's 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 4, that is 16. There's 16 bases on this star station, right? This Protoss star station. It's too bad that the Protoss have abandoned this for some reason, because
I know.
Look at how much gas and minerals I have. Imagine the size of the carrier fleet.
Tempest and carriers you could make on this star station.
Seriously, you could just float this thing to planets and kill it with your Tempest. There's so much gas and minerals on it.
What is that? Okay, in the wait, have you played the single player in Heart of the Swarm?
No, not yet.
Oh,
no spoilers.
I'm not. It's not a spoiler, but
no spoilers.
Okay, so what is that thing? All right, in the intro, for Heart of the Swarm, though.
Kerrigan?
No. I'm a guess. Thank you, Kerrigan. It's problem solved. No, that big Zerg air thing.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Is there? You know what that's called?
The Overlord?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's the over the top Lord. No, I was just wondering because like this could be like the Protoss version of that.
Someone sewed together a bunch of Overlord skins to make a giant Overlord.
It's like an Overlord quilt. Okay, so let me explain to you guys the format if you're new to GSL, because this is not like a simple bracket. So we're in a group right now. We have 4 players in the group, and we're going to end up with 5 best of 3s. Now, what this means is that the winner of Crazy and RorO goes into the winners part of the group. The loser then goes to the losers part. Now, the next best of 3, that winner goes to that, of course, obviously the winners group. That loser goes to the losers. Then, in our third best of 3, we have the 2 winners face off. Whoever wins there has advanced now into the round of 16.
Yeah.
After that, we have the 2 losers play against each other from game 1, or from best of 3-1, best of 3-2. The loser of that is eliminated. Then we have the final one, the final best of 3, and the winner goes on to the round of 16. The loser is out.
And then we do that all over again in the round of 16.
That's right, yeah.
And then it goes into bracket format.
And this, what's good about this is it makes it much more fair.
Yes.
Let's say that you're a guy, you might be top 4 quality, but you were paired against life in a bracket format in the round of 32, and it's like, well, I guess you lose and we all forget about you.
Yeah.
Where now it's a little bit, the better players more likely to get out of the group.
It's a very accurate way to look at it. And, of course, people that fall going to that Code A, where they have to prove themselves once again to get back in here. That's also a great tournament that we broadcast. It's actually Wolf and Caldor take care of that.
Right.
And we'll show you the schedule for that later on. But anyways, taking a look at this game and where it's at, well, it's at basically the same spot. They've both gone for the same speed of speed. They both have the Baneling Nest.
Yeah.
Both droning up, neither player getting aggressive yet.
And this is early game ZVZ for you. You can usually watch the production tab and get a read. And now we're starting to see a variation. Okay, now we have 14 links here for Crazy, as well as the 2 Banelings.
That's right, and RorO has actually opted for a much quicker layer, so this is definitely something that has the potential to catch him off guard, but with these lings in the main base of Crazy, that is something a little bit painful, because he can see how many lings are actually hatching out.
Yeah, the element of surprise is not quite there. Oh, looks like we caught the tail end of that. So we got the lings now moving out. We have defensive Banelings here being made by RorO. Is it going to be enough, though? It's really all about, if you can get your lings to not connect with their Banelings in the proper way.
Yeah.
And then they're basically being underutilized, and from there you get steamrolled.
Well, let's see what he can get done with these Zerglings. That Spinecrawler coming in as well, definitely going to be very helpful at picking off his opponent's Banelings. And in fact, Crazy's aggression may be just about over. Yeah, he's going into drones. He's got his layer on the way, and that's going to mean that RorO has a much faster Spire, and this is going to allow him to get ahead a bit in upgrades for the mutas as well as muta count.
Let's be honest. Once he saw those Lings making, the odds of RorO taking too much damage there were pretty minimal.
That's right.
Now, as you can see, he's trying to just snipe these Banelings. Any additional damage you can do helps. This is a beautiful little dance we see here between the Lings and the Banelings on both sides. And it looks like not much damage was, in fact, traded there.
No. Well, that Spire is about halfway done when Crazy finally starts his. So this is actually going to result in a situation that can be kind of tough for Crazy. You know, Crazy is actually, they've made a similar amount of Banelings, but that was close. But that +1 armor upgrade that is so important is going to simply finish a lot sooner for RorO. And if you have that advantage in the same amount of mutas, well, you're just going to win the battle. That's going to put Crazy on the defense around the time that that's finishing.
All right, the Lings, again, nobody's done a tremendous amount of damage. You have, of course, the third coming up here. And I'm really excited to see, you know, with new Heart of the Swarm mutas here, how he's going to control these. By the way, get out there and spread the word about the GSL. This is really exciting for Heart of the Swarm. You know, a lot of people played Heart of the Swarm and, Wings of Liberty, and didn't know about the esports scene because it was a little bit more underground then. Now it's, you know, kind of bubbled up to the top. So spread the word, please.
Yes, that is so true. You've got to spread the word because you are having a lot of fun, and everyone else could too if you would just help them to find this.
We got them hitting this hatch over here, but it looks like Crazy will deflect this. Neither player really able to do a tremendous amount of damage here.
We do have more mutas on the way for RorO. He's also got that +1 carapace on the way, significantly faster than his opponent.
Now, when it comes to muta versus muta, if the mutas start to engage each other, it's pretty hard to run away. Because if they control it right, they just will kill every single muta. They basically
do a moving shot.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, exactly. They can pretty much move and attack at the same time. So if you're good at controlling your units, you're good at that unit micro. You're going to eke out so much more damage. So you got to be very careful on when you engage and where you engage.
That's so true, and there's a lot of things to take into consideration during one of these battles. For instance, you want to move your Lings or Overlords or whatever into the Mutalisk battle with you so that some of the bounces from the mutas hit those units instead of your mutas, because whoever gets far ahead on the muta count simply ends up winning like 99% of the time.
That's why we see the armor upgrade so important to muta versus muta, because those glaives, they attack, and of course it bounces off.
It greatly reduces damage.
It greatly reduces the damage, so definitely want to go with that. I guess what would it be? That armor upgrade, and then probably just Zealot armor. Probably the two most important armor upgrades that you ever see in Starcraft 2.
I think you're right there. Yeah.
Much else?
Now, I mean, a Zergling armor upgrade can be very useful, but not as useful as those two, I would say.
Right. Excuse me. So we got the mutas continuing to fly around the map. Supplies pretty close right now. RorO's got a minor lead.
RorO with his third base up a little bit quicker. Going to be feeling pretty good, but the third base on Star Station is so out there in the open. It's something that can be hard to defend, and that's why we keep on seeing tiny battles at watchtowers between just handfuls of Lings, because if you control the watchtowers, you can see anything incoming. But if your opponent takes the watchtower, suddenly you have no idea what's coming or from what angle on this map.
Yeah, that is very true. Now, they're both at this point in time where they really can't stop making Mutalisks.
Yes.
I mean, if one guy stops and tries to tech up too much, boom, the other guy has more Mutalisks, he gets run over.
Yeah, and this is really cool. RorO has actually started +2 carapace, as opposed to the more common +1 attack. Normally what you do is you go for the +1 carapace, then you go into +1 attack. But really kind of cool to see. That's going to allow his mutas to stay alive even longer. But neglecting that +1 does mean that he's not going to be able to get in and necessarily harass as effectively as you could with that +1 attack. I mean, but that isn't a really big deal.
Well, it's not wrong. It's just different. Now we got, again, the muta's going to come up here and try to deny some Lings. There is an aggressive fourth base being taken here by Crazy.
Yeah.
And if he gets that, he's already taken the gas there. So if he actually gets that up and running, that's going to be a considerable amount more Mutalisks there. Gas much more important at this phase of the matchup than the minerals are.
That is so true. And RorO taking his up at the top those bases moving closer and closer. Do notice that we see little red and blue dots all over the place. All they have to do right now is watch for anything incoming because they have the same level of economy. So they're always going to be within 1 to 2 Mutalisks of each other if they hit their bases all at the same time, which means you can't attack because if you go across the map, you're closer to their rally points, which means the mutas join in more quickly. Maybe there's a sport, maybe there's a queen, and that makes all the difference.
It is really unforgiving. So we may not see an engagement until they're maxed out. Well, as I say that, he actually goes ahead and attacks it here at the 4th base.
A very careful engagement.
But I was going to say, he's going to lead with those mutas.
That's right. Leading with the lings there, he's able to do a little bit. Kill some of these drones off, delay the gas mining slightly, and that makes a difference.
The lings are expendable, just in general. I mean, lings are the most expendable unit in StarCraft 2.
Definitely. And the thing is, mineral is not going to be the most useful thing here. They're going to have extra larvae. Mutas are expensive. With this many hatches, you can do these things with lings.
All right. Oh, he managed to hide that little ling over there.
Yeah,
so you can do some scouting later on, see how much gas is being mined as well. And we may have another engagement here from RorO. RorO also just now starting an attack upgrade. Or excuse me, that is Crazy starting an attack upgrade. Oh, no, that is RorO.
Those are the finished upgrades right there.
Pardon me.
Plus 2 carapace against 1/1. And that 3rd upgrade is coming along for RorO, so he's gaining advantages slowly but surely.
Now we got the mutas coming down here now, and more lings hitting. Crazy's been fairly passive after about the mid-game here, but we're going to see if that changes. And we have mutas again coming in over here.
Whoa, and the thing is, Crazy's behind him with his mutas.
Oh,
this
I
could
think he
be
can
brutal.
actually sandwich him here. There's not much mini-map left to move around on.
Oh, my God.
I think it looked okay. Now he backs up because he wasn't 100% sure he would win that engagement. I'm not sure he would have. He's a little bit behind in supply.
Well, right now, RorO is up by 2 mutas, and he's actually going to have a 3rd upgrade against a player with just 2 upgrades. So that's definitely going to be something that makes a difference as well. Crazy has to be very careful still. Eventually one of these guys is just going to get slightly out of position, and that's how this game is going to end up being decided.
A situation that is so volatile. You make 1 or 2 little mistakes, and boom, you're gone. Now, I love what RorO's doing here. He's doing a little bit of trying to outposition the mutas, but meanwhile he sends these things over here. And look, he doesn't have to kill that hatchery. He just has to make sure that the drones are not mining gas.
Exactly. Yes. So true.
This is so good. Now just a little snipe over here, and he's going to back up, and RorO is slowly chiseling away.
My God. If they actually engage right now, that would be a huge advantage for RorO with that additional upgrade too.
And now he's hitting this base again, and Crazy's just getting spread too thin, but meanwhile Crazy headed northbound with these lings, and there's really not much to defend here, just one spine crawler that's going to go down.
Yeah, the spine do delay those lings, though, and he doesn't really lose many drones. Now, will he run up into the main? There is a baneling waiting. Oh, a great connection indeed. But as his mutas come over here, the mutas of Crazy go towards the 4th base of RorO.
Oh, we're going to have a huge engagement.
Oh, and he does
just barely backs up there. Taking out the gas guys are a nice little move.
That's something we're seeing more and more in CVZ right now. If you snipe those gas geysers, that's almost better than killing the drones on them because it delays the gas mining so much.
This is going to be hard to cast if the mutas actually start to engage each other. We just won't know what the hell's going on.
No. We're going to have to just take a look at the numbers and upgrades.
We're just going to sit here screaming and not actually doing any real play-by-play. All right, now you click another snipe. He might be able to snipe this. Oh, nice.
Great move here by Crazy. He's going to pick off quite a few of these mutas. Right. And in fact, the engagement may occur.
Oh, is he going to go for it?
Oh, my God.
All right.
He's so close, and it's going to happen.
But RorO, he has all of his mutas together, whereas Crazy does not. The trick here is to watch the supplies and see which one is going to exponentially shoot down in the second here. And it looks like it's going to be Crazy as RorO just has too much. Even the Queen helping out now.
The additional armor upgrade really working out there, as well as the 3 queens dealing that extra damage, as well as the closer rally points. So now he's up 9 Mutalisks. And I don't know if that is something that Crazy is going to have the ability to come back from. And you can tell he doesn't think so either. An infestation pick going up immediately.
Yeah, he's going to have to use some fungals on those mutas. Now, there's a small window of time here for RorO to do a lot of damage if he does it right. And we're going to see if he does that. Also, no, Crazy does have the option to try to counterattack to pull RorO's mutas back. We're going to see if that works in just a second.
Well, Crazy's down 30 supplies, down 20 mutas. Doesn't look too winnable, to be honest. This may turn into some sort of base trade, but Look at that, with the extra spores even sitting there, ready for it. Absolutely.
And notice
is
this.
RorO.
He's splitting up those lings in the mutas so he can do the optimum amount of damage. And I think this is the beginning of the end. I mean, 100 supply to 180 supply. Spire goes down. I don't think there's going to be enough time to really get infestors out or anything that can actually defend. So that should be it. I love this mass spore crawler. Oh, okay. He's just going to go for a base raid. He's going to make spores in his opponent's base.
Yeah, you may as well. I mean, he's chasing those, and he's not killing your buildings. There's really no way for RorO to lose.
He has to tap out.
Well,
Nice.
yeah, that was pretty damn well done by RorO, to be honest. I liked the +2 armor upgrade. You don't really see that as often. Normally you do go into that +1 attack. He kept on his upgrades, he kept on his mutas, and what he really did the best, I think, was control the map. He sent his mutas in one direction, which caused the mutas of Crazy go in that direction, and then sent his lings elsewhere to deal damage and slow Crazy down.
Exactly. I mean, it was a really well handled game from RorO. And you're right. He was the boss on that map.
He was
controlling where Crazy was able to go with his mutas. Meanwhile, getting in there with those lings to do enough damage that Crazy went for an engagement. But if you also notice, not all Crazy's mutas were hitting the opposing player's mutas.
Yeah. That is true. He had some from behind.
And when you got mutaglaves bouncing off, the other mutas, that's a lot of damage that's not actually happening.
It's so true. And don't forget the 3 queens. Even though there's some armor upgrades on the Mutalist of Crazy, 3 queens, that's extra damage. And when your Mutalist count is almost exactly the same, you both have similar upgrades.
Right.
Any extra damage can make it snowball.
Yeah, and I like what you just said there, the snowballing, because it does get out of control. You'll see they're both at like 200 supply, and then they both drop about 10, then one guy drops 15, the other guy drops 10, and then boom, somebody's down 30, then 40, then 50, and it's amazing. And that's because of the way that mutas deal that damage.
Absolutely.
And that's why when you engage with mutas, you have to commit. Because they can move and shoot if you micro them right. So
as soon as you lose that first muta battle, especially when the numbers get that high, there is no coming back. It just doesn't happen. If you get just a little bit behind, you can come back. There's different ways to do it. Sniping gas geysers, sniping stray mutas, having him have a slightly poor engagement. Sometimes people try to go into infestors and lock down the mutas, deal them that extra damage. But it is an unforgiving matchup, that is for certain. And our next map being Daybreak, a big map, I definitely do expect to see mutas out of both players once again.
Yeah, I think it's going to look similar to that last game. I think you're 100% right, Artosis. This is just so exciting. I'm so happy to be down here in our new studio doing Heart of the Swarm.
It is so packed as well. There are so many people here.
No, I actually can't even emphasize
how many people you think are down there? 3,000 people?
About a million,
4,000 people?
billion people down there.
A million billion? No, it is packed, man. There are so many more chairs in the studio than the old one.
It's funny because we started out casting Starcraft 2 at GSL, about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And we had a very tiny little studio on the second floor of a school, and now we are here in Samsung.
Yeah. In Gangnam.
In Gangnam, yep. Oh, I see wolf.
Oh, my God.
A wild wolf appears. All right, we're going to get this game going, so get ready for some more StarCraft 2 action for the first GSL Code S Heart of the Swarm.